Canada, you're lovely. Stunning nature, polite citizens, universal healthcare. It's basically the utopia Americans pretend they live in, but even in this majestic land of maple syrup and poutine, there's a simmering discontent towards Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. We're not saying Trudeau is single-handedly turning Canada into some dystopian hellscape. However, there are legitimate concerns about some of his policies, and frankly, some Canadians are getting a tad anxious. So grab your Tim Hortons, settle in, and let's unpack why some Canadians are feeling a little less Canadian nice and a little more Canadian concerned about their Prime Minister. First up, let's talk money. Trudeau's government has a penchant for spending on social programs, infrastructure projects, and pandemic relief. All that spending has led to a rather hefty national debt. Some Canadians are starting to sweat, seeing a big flashing neon sign that screams future tax hikes or worse, economic instability. The concern is that without a concrete plan for debt reduction, Canada could be heading for a world of hurt, potentially facing inflation that makes a carton of eggs cost as much as a down payment on a house. And let's not forget the Bank of Canada raising interest rates, which can make it harder for businesses to invest and for everyday Canadians to afford, well, life. It's a delicate balancing act, and some Canadians feel like the government is juggling chainsaws while riding a unicycle on a tightrope. Next, we head west to the land of big skies, wide open spaces, and, of course, oil. Trudeau's government has been vocal about its environmental goals, particularly climate change. Carbon pricing, reducing reliance on fossil fuels, transitioning to a greener economy, all noble goals. However, these policies haven't been met with open arms by everyone, particularly in provinces like Alberta, where the oil and gas industry is a major economic engine. They see pipelines being cancelled, investment drying up, and jobs disappearing faster than a timbit at a hockey game. The energy sector argues for a more balanced approach, addressing environmental concerns while also protecting jobs and ensuring energy security. The government argues that climate change requires bold action and that the transition to a green economy will ultimately create more jobs in the long run. Now let's talk about immigration. Canada prides itself on being welcoming and multicultural. Some feel the pace of immigration is too brisk. They argue it strains social services like healthcare and housing. Wait times for affordable housing are long, and getting a doctor's appointment can be tough. They believe immigration needs sustainable management. Proper investment in infrastructure is essential. Proponents argue it's vital for economic growth, especially with an aging population. Immigrants contribute to the economy and bring vibrancy to society. It's a complex issue with no easy answers. Let's dive into Trudeau's perceived ideological focus. Some Canadians feel he's too focused on progressive issues like gender equality and LGBTQ+ rights and reconciliation with Indigenous communities. Critics argue this focus neglects pressing concerns like the cost of living and job creation. Supporters see him as a break from conservative politics, championing progressive values. They view him as a breath of fresh air in a divided world. The age-old debate of freedom versus security, a philosophical dilemma that has plagued humanity since the dawn of time. In Canada, this debate took centre stage during the COVID-19 pandemic, as Trudeau's government implemented measures to curb the virus. Lockdowns, vaccine mandates, travel restrictions, you name it, Canada did it. A vocal minority felt their rights were trampled upon in the name of public health. The issue of vaccine mandates became a lightning rod for controversy, with some Canadians feeling their right to bodily autonomy was violated. Let's address the elephant in the room, the strained relationship between the federal government and Western Canada. Western provinces, particularly Alberta and Saskatchewan, often feel they get the short end of the hockey stick. Their concerns, especially about the energy sector, are ignored by the federal government, which focuses on central Canada. This fuels Western alienation, which has intensified in recent years. Some feel they would be better off separating from Canada. Whether it's realistic or not, the discussion speaks volumes about the frustration. So there you have it, a glimpse into the complex and sometimes contradictory concerns that some Canadians have about Justin Trudeau's policies. It's a reminder that even in a country as seemingly idyllic as Canada, political divisions and anxieties lurk beneath the surface. Whether these concerns are justified or overblown, whether Trudeau is the right leader for Canada or not, are ultimately matters of opinion. But what's undeniable is that these concerns reflect a deeper unease and uncertainty that exists within Canadian society. A sense that the Canada of tomorrow might look very different from the Canada of today. What do you think? Are these concerns warranted, or are they much ado about nothing? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the issues shaping our world.